Hello everyone, my name is Zachary O'Shea and this is Box of Teeth. It is also just another Mimic Monday, so I have a Mimic for all of you for Dungeons & Dragons right now. Every Just Another Mimic Monday, what I do is I reach deep into that box of teeth and bring out a homebrew Mimic for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition that I share with all of you. They're sometimes a little bit silly, often a little bit horrifying, and this one is a mixture of the two, perhaps seeming to lean a little bit towards silly until you realize what it does, and that's the Anvil Mimic, so let's talk about it right now. There once was a blacksmith who got rich and famous in his area anyway, thanks to the help of some local fae that would stop by his shop. The wee folk were happy to help, in the beginning at least. At first, the blacksmith knew his place and would give them proper praise and gifts. But as his wealth grew, so did his ego. Once he crossed that line and hurt the fae's feelings, well, he had to be punished. This came in the form of a new enchanted anvil that the fae gave him because he was the best blacksmith ever. He bought that hook, line, and sinker. The blacksmith with a big head, however, ended up having a flat head instead, as did his family when they came to check on him, as did the customers he had that day to pick up their orders, and then some of the local law enforcement who came to find out what all the ruckus was about. Since then, these mimics have spread far and wide. Oh, they have also eaten a couple of those helpful fae sorts now and again. But you know what they say about omelets and eggs, or I guess anvils and heads, or something like that. I'm sure there's a metaphor in there somewhere. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the Anvil Mimic statistics for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Now, the Anvil Mimic is a medium monstrosity who is neutral. It is challenge rating 4. Like any other Mimic, it does have Shape Changer, Adhesive, False Appearance, and Grappler. On top of its usual condition and damage resistances or immunities, it also has resistance to bludgeoning damage because it gets hammered a lot, as well as damage immunities to fire, as well as the normal acid. It also has brain, as in to brain someone, which is a version of pounce, as long as Mimic moves at least 10 feet towards a target and then hits with a slam attack while in object form. That it does additional bludgeoning damage to the target. The target has to make a save or be knocked prone, and if it fails that save, well, then the Mimic gets to go ahead and make a bite attack against it. The next thing it has is Out of Sight into Mind, which is, where some of its silliness comes in, because it can use up to 10 feet of its movement when it moves to instantly teleport to a point it can see within up to that amount of space, which means, of course, it can teleport above people's heads and drop down into it. It also has Strike while it's hot, so it has advantage on attacks against creatures that have taken fire damage since the Mimic's last turn, though it has no ability to produce fire damage itself. It does have multi-attack, so it can make 2 pseudopod attacks, and again, it does have a slam attack when it's in anvil form. So again, yeah, it's a little bit silly. It brings to mind the cartoons of anvils falling on people's heads, except 1, the anvil is animate and alive, and it wants to eat you. 2, it has a lot of teeth and a slobbering mouth, and it deals acid damage, and it sticks to you, which makes it go from pretty funny to pretty horrifying if you think about it. I would love to see how you would use the Anvil Mimic in one of your encounters. Go ahead and put it down in the comments below. In the meantime, you can find it along with dozens, if not hundreds of other mimics, and even more hundreds of other monsters that are all horror themed and all free and all for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition at boxofteeth.blogspot.com. If you're more interested in the non-D&D projects that I have or the horror fiction that I write, that includes Grease Paint right there, and right there it's got some dark comedy in it because it has a clown, but no anvils. You can always go to www.zacharyoshea.com. Thank you all for your time and your attention, and have a wonderful week ahead of you.